Welcome to Dollar Side Hustle, your go-to podcast for all things side hustle.
And today we're diving deep into something surprisingly simple,
Okay.
but incredibly powerful, something used by one of the biggest names in business.
You've got me intrigued. Who are we talking about?
None other than Richard Branson.
Wow, Richard Branson.
Yeah.
The Virgin Group, airlines, music, you name it. What's his secret weapon?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that even in today's tech-driven world, Branson considers his notebook his most important possession.
A notebook. Really? I mean, I get it. Sometimes you just need to jot things down.
Yeah.
But most important possession, I'm skeptical.
I hear you. It sounds almost old-fashioned, right?
Yeah.
But there's a method to the madness. It's not just about taking notes. It's about having a system for capturing, processing, and turning those notes into action.
Okay, I'm starting to see the potential here. It's like having an external brain, always ready to catch those fleeting thoughts and ideas before they vanish.
Exactly. And, there's actually a lot of science to back this up. Studies have shown that writing things down by hand activates different parts of the brain than typing does. This deeper engagement actually helps us understand and remember information better.
So it's not just about convenience, it's about actually improving our cognitive abilities.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
absolutely. Now let's dive into how Branson actually uses his notebook. He's a busy guy, so it must be super efficient.
I'm all ears.
The first principle is simple. Always have it with you. Inspiration doesn't wait for a scheduled brainstorming session. You need to be ready to capture ideas as they strike.
That makes sense. But what about organization? I imagine his notebook isn't just a random jumble of thoughts.
Right, that's where the system comes in. Branson is a big believer in context. He recommends dating and time-stamping each entry so you can track your thinking over time.
It's like building a timeline of your side hustle journey right there in your notebook. I can see how that would be valuable for reflection and seeing how your ideas evolve.
Exactly. And here's another interesting technique he uses, drawing diagrams. Especially in meetings, it helps him visually map out concepts or processes or even customer journeys. It's like brainstorming on paper.
That's a great idea. I find that sometimes words just aren't enough to capture the complexity of a problem or an idea. Visuals can really unlock new insights.
I agree. Now, another key to Branson's approach is that he focuses on summarizing key takeaways rather than transcribing every word.
Right.
It's about distilling the essence, the actionable insights.
I'm guilty of trying to capture everything, and then my notes end up being this overwhelming wall of text.
It's a common trap, but think about, do you really need to remember every detail? Or is it more valuable to capture the core ideas and action steps?
That's a good point. It's about focusing on what's truly important and what will actually move your side hustle forward.
Now, capturing ideas is just the first step. Let's talk about turning those notes into action.
This is where I need help. I have notebooks full of great ideas, but turning them into reality is a whole other challenge.
Well, Branson has a simple but effective system for that too. He uses specific symbols to mark up his notes for action. For example, an open square bracket signifies a to-do item to schedule on his calendar.
So he's literally turning those notes into calendar appointments.
Yeah.
I love that. What about events?
For those, he uses an open circle. Then there's the exclamation mark. That's for urgent follow-up actions.
Okay, I'm seeing a pattern here. It's like a visual language for prioritizing tasks and making sure nothing falls through the cracks.
Exactly. He also uses a question mark for anything that needs further clarification and an asterisk for key themes or important points that he wants to revisit later.
This is brilliant. And the best part is it's so adaptable. Our listeners can totally customize this system using symbols or abbreviations that make sense for their own workflows.
That's right. Find what works for you and make it your own. Now, there's one more powerful element to Branson's system that I think we should discuss before we move on.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
He makes it a ritual to review all his notebooks from the previous year every New Year's Day.
Wow, that's dedication. But it seems like it would take forever. How does he find the time?
Well, he's not doing it for nostalgia. It's about spotting patterns in his thinking, rekindling forgotten ideas, and tracking his progress over time.
That's such a powerful practice. Imagine the insights you could gain from revisiting your side hustle notes from a year ago. You might rediscover a brilliant idea that you'd completely forgotten about.
It's like a treasure hunt through your own entrepreneurial journey, and it can help you identify areas where you've grown and areas where you might need to improve.
I love that. It's not just about looking back. It's about using that reflection to propel yourself forward.
Exactly. Now, before we move on, I want to emphasize that you don't have to be a CEO of a multinational company to benefit from this approach.
That's right. This is all about making this system work for you, for your side hustle, for your life.
No matter what stage of your journey you're in, a simple notebook can be a game
I
changer.
have to admit, you've convinced me. I'm ready to dust off my old notebook and start putting these ideas into practice.
Yeah.
But before I do, I have one question.
I'm listening.
We've talked a lot about the practical benefits of using a notebook, but are there any deeper, less obvious advantages?
That's a great question. I think one of the most profound yet often overlooked benefits of using a notebook is that it can be a powerful tool for mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
hmm
I usually associate that with meditation or yoga. How does a notebook fit in?
Think about it. When you're writing in a notebook, you're forced to slow down, to be present in the moment. It's a break from the constant digital distractions that surround us.
It's like creating a sanctuary for your mind, a space where you can think deeply without interruption.
Exactly. And that mindfulness can have a ripple effect on all areas of your life. It can help you be more present in your interactions with others, more aware of your surroundings, and more in tune with your own thoughts and feelings.
I never thought about it that way, but you're right. It's like a mini digital detox.
Yeah.
And in our hyper-connected world, those moments of disconnection can be incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. So while a notebook might seem like a simple tool, it can actually be a key to unlocking deeper levels of focus, creativity, and even mindfulness.
And those are qualities that are essential for any successful side hustler. Wouldn't you agree?
I absolutely agree. But before we move on to explore that further, let's take a quick break. We'll be right back with more insights into how to leverage the power of a notebook for your side hustle.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to Dollar Side Hustle so you never miss a deep dive. Be sure to check out the side hustle links in the show notes. These are affiliate links, and the commissions help us keep the channel running. We'll be back in a flash.
Stuck in a dead-end job and need a way to make extra cash? Businesses everywhere need help with their online presence, and you can earn $20 to $50 an hour writing social media posts, emails, and more. No experience? No problem. We'll match you with available jobs so you can start earning fast. Ready to kick off your online writing side hustle? Visit dollarsidehustle.com/writingjobs and get started today. Want to make $25 to $50 an hour just by writing reviews of apps on your phone or tablet? It's as simple as downloading apps, trying them out, and sharing your honest feedback. No experience needed, just a phone, a tablet, and some basic writing skills. If this sounds like your kind of gig, don't miss out. Paid reviewers are in high demand, and you can start earning right away. Ready to get started? Visit dollarsidehustle.com/review apps and start making money from your reviews today.
So we've established that a simple notebook can be surprisingly powerful.
More powerful than I ever imagined. I'm starting to think of it less like a note-taking tool and more like a secret weapon for success.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And one of the ways it can be a secret weapon is by helping you overcome a challenge that so many side hustlers face: distractions.
Ooh, tell me about it. It feels like I'm constantly battling notifications, emails, social media. It's exhausting.
It's the reality of our digital world, isn't it? But here's where the notebook comes in. Think of it as a distraction-free zone.
Right.
You can close your laptop, silence your phone, and just focus on what's in front of you.
It's like hitting the reset button on your brain, creating that mental space to think deeply without interruption.
Exactly. And you know, there's a fascinating connection between focus and creativity. When you eliminate those distractions and allow your mind to concentrate, it's free to wander, to make connections, and to spark new ideas.
I've definitely noticed that when I'm feeling scattered and overwhelmed, I'm not exactly at my creative best.
It makes sense, right? It's like trying to write a novel in a crowded coffee shop. You need that quiet space to let your thoughts flow.
Okay, I'm convinced. Distraction-free notebook time is officially going on my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But what about another challenge that I think a lot of side hustlers struggle with? Feeling overwhelmed.
Oh, I hear you. Juggling a full-time job, family responsibilities, and a side hustle can feel like a recipe for a mental breakdown.
Exactly. How can a notebook help with that?
Well, think of your notebook as a pressure valve for your brain.
Okay.
It allows you to get all those tasks, ideas, worries, everything swirling around in your head out onto paper.
I can see how that would be incredibly freeing. It's like decluttering your mental workspace.
Exactly. And once those thoughts are externalized, you can start to organize them, prioritize them, and create a plan of attack.
It shifts you from feeling overwhelmed to feeling empowered.
Right. You're not just reacting to the chaos anymore, you're taking control. And there's something about the physical act of writing things down
Mm-hmm.
that helps you process them more deeply.
Yeah.
They become more concrete, less intimidating.
So it's not just about capturing information, it's about turning that information into action.
That's the key. And, one of the things I love about notebooks is that they're so customizable. You can use different notebooks for different projects, create your own color coding systems, find what works for your brain.
It's like having a personalized command center for your side hustle.
Right.
So for someone who's maybe feeling a little intimidated by all this, where's a good place to start?
Start simple. Don't overthink it. Just grab a notebook and start writing. Jot down ideas, to-dos, anything that's on your mind.
It's about giving yourself permission to be messy and imperfect at first.
Exactly. You don't need a fancy system or a perfectly curated notebook. Just start capturing those thoughts.
And over time, you can refine your approach as you learn what works best for you.
Right. Experiment with different techniques, try out different notebooks, different pens. Find what sparks joy.
I love that. It's about making it your own. Now, I have to ask, since we're talking about Richard Branson, I'm curious about his daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is a productivity machine. What insights can we gain from how he structures his day?
Well, you might be surprised to learn that Branson isn't a big believer in rigid schedules or long hours at the office. He prioritizes flexibility, adventure, and spending time with his loved ones.
So it's not about burning the midnight oil. It's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And one of the most interesting things about his routine is that he starts his day by focusing on his well-being. He wakes up early, exercises, has a healthy breakfast, and spends time with his family before he even thinks about work.
He's prioritizing his mental, physical, and emotional health before diving into the demands of his business.
And that sets him up for success throughout the day. He's more focused, more energetic, and more resilient when he takes care of himself first.
It's like filling your own cup before trying to pour into others.
I love that analogy, and it's an important lesson for all side hustlers. You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to make sure you're taking care of yourself.
Okay, I'm taking notes here. What else can we learn from Branson's daily routine?
Well, he's also a master delegator. He knows he can't do everything himself, so he empowers his team and trusts them to handle the day-to-day operations.
So it's about letting go of control and focusing on the big picture.
Right, and that allows him to spend his time on the things he's most passionate about, like exploring new ventures and spending time with his family.
That sounds like a pretty amazing way to live and work.
It is, and it highlights an important point. Success isn't just about productivity. It's about creating a life that feels fulfilling and meaningful.
I couldn't agree more. But let's be real. There are times when we need to buckle down and get things done quickly and efficiently. Does Branson have any strategies for those moments?
He does. He's a big fan of what he calls blitz days. These are days where he clears his schedule, eliminates all distractions, and focuses on tackling a single important task.
It's like a supercharged productivity session.
Exactly. And he finds that he can get more done in a few focused hours than he can in an entire week of scattered effort.
So it's about creating those pockets of intense focus, minimizing context switching.
Right. No meetings, no emails, no social media, just pure, unadulterated work.
That sounds incredibly productive, but also a little intimidating.
I know what you mean. It can feel daunting to clear your schedule like that. But even if you can't carve out an entire day, try blocking off a few hours each week for a blitz session.
So it's about finding what works for your schedule and your workflow.
Exactly. And, what's really inspiring about Branson is that he's always experimenting, always trying new things. He's not afraid to fail, and he sees failure as a learning opportunity.
So it's about having a growth mindset,
Right.
embracing challenges, and seeing setbacks as a chance to learn and grow.
Absolutely. And I think that's an incredibly valuable lesson for anyone, but especially for side hustlers who are venturing into uncharted territory.
It's about giving yourself permission to experiment, to make mistakes, and to learn along the way.
And to remember that success isn't a straight line. There will be bumps along the road, but it's how you navigate those bumps that matters most.
Well said. So we've talked about the power of notebooks, the importance of focus and mindfulness, and even some insights into Richard Branson's approach to productivity in life. But I want to dive a little deeper into something we touched on earlier, the importance of making decisions.
Decision-making is such a crucial skill for entrepreneurs, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. And it can feel especially daunting when you're running your own side hustle and every decision feels high stakes.
I understand that feeling. So let's look at how Richard Branson approaches decision-making. He's known for his gut instincts and willingness to take risks, but he's also incredibly strategic and thoughtful.
So it's a balance of intuition and analysis.
Exactly. And one of the things that stands out about his approach is that he's not afraid to make decisions quickly.
Really? I would have thought someone at his level would take their time, carefully weigh every option.
He does gather information and consider the pros and cons, but he also understands that perfect is the enemy of good.
So it's about being decisive, even in the face of uncertainty.
Exactly. As entrepreneurs, we can't get bogged down in analysis paralysis. Sometimes you just need to trust your gut and make a call.
But isn't there a danger in making rash decisions?
Of course, there's always a risk. But Branson is also a master of calculated risk-taking. He weighs the potential downsides before taking a leap.
So it's about having a healthy respect for risk, but not letting fear hold you back.
Exactly. He's not reckless, he's strategic. And here's something else to consider. Even if a decision doesn't work out as planned, it's a learning opportunity.
It's all part of the process, right?
Right. And this ties back to the growth mindset we were talking about earlier, embracing challenges and seeing setbacks as a chance to learn and adapt.
I love that perspective. It takes the pressure off feeling like you have to get every decision right.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that I think a lot of side hustlers struggle with, saying no.
Oh, that's a tough one. When you're trying to build a business, it's so tempting to say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. But I know that's not always the best approach.
You're right. And Richard Branson is a great example of someone who's very selective about the projects he takes on.
So what's his secret? How does he decide what to say yes to and what to say no to?
Well, he has a simple rule. He only says yes to things that he's genuinely excited about. He knows that his time and energy are valuable, and he doesn't want to waste them on projects that don't align with his passions.
So it's about being true to yourself and your vision.
Exactly. And I think that's such a powerful lesson for all of us. We need to be mindful of our commitments and make sure we're only saying yes to things that are truly important to us.
And that means saying no to things, even if they seem like good opportunities on the surface.
Exactly. And that can be really difficult, especially when you're starting out.
Yeah.
But it's essential for protecting your time and energy and staying focused on your goals.
So it's about being strategic and discerning with your yeses.
And being comfortable with saying no, even if it feels a little awkward.
What? Now, before we move on to our final part, I want to remind everyone to like and subscribe to Dollar Side Hustle so you never miss an episode.
And be sure to check out the Side Hustle links in the show notes. These are affiliate links, and the commissions help us keep the channel running.
We appreciate your support. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors.
Tired of spending hours on social media for free? What if you could actually get paid for it? If you've ever posted on Facebook, tweeted, or watched a YouTube video, you've already got what it takes. Companies are shelling out billions on social media, and now they're looking for people like you to upload content and keep things buzzing online. We're talking about jobs that pay up to $280 a day, or $35 an hour, to do what you're already doing. No fancy skills, just a connection, some basic posting, and you're good to go. Ready to turn scrolling into earning? Check out dollarsidehustle.com/social media jobs and start making money from your posts today. Struggling to make money online? Most businesses fail because they're missing one key piece of the puzzle. This new system can help you earn up to $3,493 with no selling. And it all starts with a free webinar happening in just a few hours. Here's what you'll learn: the exact system that's generated over $23 million online and how to use it yourself. The 3 biggest reasons online businesses fail. How to activate 3 profit levers to start making real money. Don't miss this chance. Visit dollarsidehustle.com/no selling to get started today.
All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into the world of Richard Branson.
And we're ending on a topic that's top of mind for a lot of side hustlers: work-life balance.
You know it. It can feel like this elusive ideal that's always just out of reach.
But what's fascinating is that Branson actually rejects the whole idea of work-life balance.
Really? Isn't that what all the productivity gurus preach?
Well, Branson has a different perspective. He sees work and life as intertwined, inseparable.
That's interesting. So it's not about separating those two worlds, but about finding a way to integrate them.
Exactly. He believes in blending work and play. He makes time for adventure, travel, family, and those experiences actually fuel his creativity and his business.
So it's not about compartmentalizing, but about finding a way to make those two worlds work together in a way that feels authentic and energizing.
That's the key. And that might look different for everyone. For Branson, it's about kite surfing with his family or taking spontaneous trips, turning business meetings into adventures.
It sounds more like a lifestyle than a routine.
It is, and I think that's something that really resonates with side hustlers who are looking for more flexibility and fulfillment.
It's about creating a life that you don't need a vacation from.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier, the power of notebooks for reflection and growth.
That's something Branson really emphasizes, isn't it?
He makes time to review his notebooks regularly, not just to revisit ideas, but to reflect on his experiences and learn from his mistakes.
It's like a form of self-assessment.
Yeah.
Taking a step back to look at the big picture, see where you've been, where you're going.
And that kind of introspection can be incredibly powerful for personal and professional development.
It helps you identify patterns, recognize your strengths and weaknesses, and make more informed decisions.
It's about using those reflections to learn and grow and become a better version of yourself.
And that's ultimately what it's all about, isn't it? This whole journey of self-discovery and growth.
Absolutely. So to bring it all back to where we started, a simple notebook can be a powerful tool for capturing ideas, staying organized, and even deepening your self-awareness.
I'm walking away from this conversation with a whole new appreciation for the humble notebook.
Me too. It's a reminder that sometimes the most effective tools are the ones that have been around for centuries.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've learned so much from Richard Branson's approach to business, life, and everything in between.
It's inspiring to see someone who's achieved so much while staying true to their values and embracing adventure.
And the best part is we can all apply these lessons to our own lives, whether we're running a global empire or just starting out with a side hustle.
It's all about mindset and taking action.
So listeners, there you have it. We've unpacked Richard Branson's secrets to success and learned how we can use those secrets to achieve our own goals.
We've explored the power of notebooks, the importance of work-life integration, and the value of reflection and continuous growth.
This has been Dollar Side Hustle, your go-to podcast for all things side hustle. Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the side hustle links in the show notes. These are affiliate links, and the commissions help us keep the channel running.
Thanks for joining us and happy hustling.